Beautiful lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Today I want to talk about something I've been doing for a while. I think that is something that can help a lot of people that is struggling with aim, especially if you're having a sluggish day or just a day where you're normally not using your accuracy or hitting the shots that you normally would. You don't feel comfortable. Everything just feels like a mess. It's something that I use to hard reset myself after longer breaks, so when I don't have time to play that much or do any form of aim prac. On general, if you just have a day when I'm playing and I just don't feel that good. And that is disabling the crosshair. This is something to do with your aim style. We'll talk a little bit about how to adapt this aim style, because this will sincerely help so many people improve their accuracy and become better, not just at Overwatch, but in general FPS games. Now, of course, before we start the video, a like on the video really helps against YouTube's abusive algorithm. And of course, if you want to hire me as a private coach, if you want to rank up, improve, and get better at the game, doesn't matter if you're bronze, top 100, if you play for a team or not, hit me up on our Discord server, link down below. It's 50 euros for 2-hour session. You should join it anyway. It's an amazing community. I also link my Twitter and my Twitch. A follow on those really would be appreciated. Now, let's talk a little bit about why I do this. So I have just a random game here. This is on Lightstorm. This is one of my Smurf accounts. I have been pushing him for like 3k, and I'm pushing him up to Masters now. And I decided just to disable my crosshair. It was mostly because my Hanzo wasn't feeling that good, but my Genji wasn't feeling that good either. It was mostly only certain hitscan heroes that I could aim pretty decently with, and I wanted to break projectiles. So I just disabled my crosshair, and I want to show kind of the whole thing. So the difference between crosshair and non-crosshair is really simple. As you start becoming, an FPS, let's just pick up Hanzo. Since my Hanzo aim has been really shit lately, it's just something that I just need to I've been playing other games as well and some hit scan, so I just need to get into the Hanzo again. But there's two ways to aim. Number one is to follow the crosshair. That's why I have a green dot. It's very easy to see, and that's to focus on the crosshair. So right now, my eyes are tracking this green little dot on my screen. I'm not tracking the Anabots, I'm tracking the dot. And then whenever my crosshair is approximately over my target, then I will shoot. Right? That's the way that a lot of people start their accuracy with, because this is a really good way to learn control and trigger discipline. This is also something that if I play, for example, Escape from Tarkov, or any other game that I'm not that comfortable with, a game with a lot of recoil or where I just need to land one shot, lining up with your crosshair can be really, really good, especially if there's a lot of recoil or you just need to land one very precise shot. Lining up and using your crosshair to tracking that with your eyes can be a really good indication, especially if you're getting into aiming right now. You might not be that good, you might be platinum or something like that. This is a really basic way to get into aiming. The other way to do it is to track the target. So right now I will just track the target with my eyes. So now I'm not really looking at the crosshair, I'm using the crosshair. It's just am I actually gonna shoot where I'm shooting? It's just like, this is the center of your screen kind of thing, and nothing else. And that's the only thing it's there for, right? And that does that. For example, you can do flicks, you can do 180s. This is the important part of accuracy, where you don't need to aim, and that can happen the same way if you disable the crosshair, right? Again, it's just a center of your screen thing. The issue becomes when a lot of people are using large crosshair, or even, my issue is that even though I'm using an okay crosshair, it can feel very messy, right? It feels like I'm focusing by instinct, the dot kind of gets in the way, I don't completely get to look at my target, and that can be very irritating. As you can see now, my accuracy actually went up as I disabled my crosshair, because now it's an unobscured view. There's no little green dot in the way of my screen. It becomes more difficult if it's longer shots or more precise stuff that I need to land, but at the same time, it's still fine. And I'll show you a gameplay where I do this in game, where I do this again to just show that it also works during stress, because this is the kind of thing, if you start focusing a lot on your crosshair, then just turning it off and doing a hard reset, this can also be really good practice to learn how to track stuff with your eyes, because this is how you do get really good mechanical skill in video games. So this is the Genji game. As you can see, I have no crosshair. That's why we're not using a replay viewer. And I will just aim. I don't care. Right now, I'm paying attention to a bunch of other stuff. As you can see, I just flick onto the McCree. I'm not focusing at all on the crosshair, because I've been doing that since I was doing that for a long time. This is like a really good reset. And actually, I turned it off for a deathmatch game, and I just forgot to turn it on this game. It was only like after the game that I noticed that I didn't have the crosshair activated, because if you get used to it and so on, and you're focusing on the game, I don't pay attention, right? I can track headshots on the Reinhardt with dashes and so on. I can even, here I will do some easy tracking of the Ana where I will flick to the McCree, right? Instead of me, focusing on the Crosshair now where the Ana is and so on, because that was my target, right? I kind of get a full overview and I can just flick over to that Cree and deflect the shots back at him, right? It's again something that comes down. Of course, turning off your Crosshair won't immediately make you an aim god. The only thing that can do that is practicing aim hero or any form of aim trainer 5 to 15 minutes a day. Practicing very slow and methodically, right? Not rushing your aim practices. So don't overshoot. Don't spam shoot, right? You can see that when I did the Ana bots, I didn't shoot as fast as I could on Hanzo. I shot at a speed where, okay, I think I can hit this now. So I took the shot, right? That extra little second that you take between clicking the button and not clicking the button, where you're lining up the shot, really makes a difference. And again, there's no shame in doing it. Again, it's about hitting, and especially when you're doing aim practice, you standing completely still, taking the time to line up the shot, and then taking the shot, it gives such a good muscle memory comparatively to the people that just spam shoot in their practice range and then go into a match and then continue spam shooting, and there's no consistency, there's no muscle memory building. The only thing you're learning is how to click a button very fast. Okay, if you've ever done any form of martial art or anything like that, you know that you start slow with learning the mechanics, with getting stuff kind of like nice and precise, and then after that you can start thinking more and more about how to increase it, how to go faster. This happens for everything. If you want to get good at a sport like football or hockey or basketball, they don't immediately just throw you out on the field in a game and say, okay, now be LeBron James, right? They learn you drills, learn you to dribble. The same happens in esports, the same happens in gaming. It's not very different. The only difference is, instead of us dribbling a ball or doing kicks and punches and blocks and doing takedowns and so on in martial arts, this is far more about how to use the mouse, how to have control over the mouse. So when you can just look at a target and track that target with your eyes and know that, okay, I need my crosshair to be, this much rotation to the right on my screen in 0.2 seconds. And then in those 0.2 seconds, you will move the crosshair there and take the shot. The confidence and the comfortability that you know that you can just look at something and move your mouse to that area on the screen immediately and then click your fire button as soon as you're there is what makes the difference. That is what good accuracy is. But if you already have that, or you're learning that, and you're starting to get more and more advanced, or if you're really good already and you're struggling because there's so much clutter on your screen, you feel like you're choking, right? There's these duels where you just can't track the Ana and your crosshair at the same time. When she's strafing, you're trying to track her with your eyes, and then you're also trying to track your crosshair and lining that up. Disable the crosshair. Play a little bit without it. Trust me, it makes a lot of difference. And then turn it back on. Again, it's better to have it as a kind of reference point to line up these shots. That's just what I want to talk about there. I don't think that it's something that's talked a lot about in really any channels. So I wanted to give some form of mention to it, as I think that this is something that helps me. And I know during my private coaching sessions, again, if you want to hire me, hit me up on Discord. It's 50 euros for a 2-hour session, that I've given this tip to a lot of people. And it has helped a lot of masters and grandmaster players getting through that reset, especially master players that have been having a slump or a bad day or like a bad month, and therefore hitting me up and saying, I used to be so much better. What happened? This tip really does help a lot of them regain some of that confidence, regain some of that mechanical stuff, because there's also a big part about this mental attitude about, if you don't think you're gonna hit the shot, there's no fucking way you're hitting it, right? Just not having a crosshair and just being like, okay, I just have to look at a target, line up and take the shot. There's no way I can fail safe this. There's no crosshair I can align. Just having no help, no assistance at all, and relying only on yourself and your raw mechanical also helps a lot mentally, and that's such an important part when it comes to video games and so on. Now, as always, guys, like on the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really does help keep the channel alive and keep it growing. Join the community, Discord, Twitter, Twitch, link down below. I love you guys very, very much. Peace, take care, stay positive. My name has been Jonal. As always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.